Abundant reading material and reading opportunities in the classroom support students' literacy learning. In this classroom, the teacher reviews a strategy and provides coaching to support children in their independent reading.
Independent reading happens every day. It's one of my favorite activities to do with the children. We gather each morning and we'll have a mini lesson, kind of a goal of what I want the students to achieve for that reading time. And I'll give them a strategy. Today you'll see me demonstrate the strategy of stopping and retelling to themselves what they've read and checking for understanding and going back and checking their reading and rereading parts to better understand. Today we're going to practice a strategy to help you with your comprehension. I want you to notice when you are reading that you can stop and take a moment to understand what you're reading. You might stop at the end of a sentence and think about, do I know what the author's message is there with this strategy? Or do you want to stop at the end of a paragraph? It'll help you to better understand the author's message. Sometimes, as a reader, you might have to back up and reread. So today I made you some bookmarks to help you with that strategy. Take one and pass them back. And as you're independently reading, I want you to notice what you're doing to help yourself understand what the author is conveying. I'll be coming around and listening to you. I'll be asking you some questions. And then at the very end of the lesson, you'll get to share with your neighbor what you learned. Okay? Thumbs up if you understand. Hand up if you have a question. Okay. Let's find a comfy place to read. Sometimes books might be more challenging, but we're highly motivated, and so we are willing to take the extra time and effort into a book if it's a particular subject area that we're very interested in. We also encourage the students to share book ideas among themselves. We often will have hot books that we're enjoying and we'll share with our neighbors. And as third graders, when they notice that a friend is reading a book that they're enjoying, chances are they'll probably enjoy it too. I like to have multiple copies of some of those most popular books, and the kids will get together and read them. After our mini lesson, then the children scatter out around the room and they find a comfy spot to read. You'll see children reading on the rug, children reading at their desks, some reading at other areas in the room. Sometimes I gather a small group and work on a particular strategy with a special group of students, and then I'll go out into the classroom and confer with students. So when the students are reading independently and I go out into the classroom area to listen to them read, I'll pull up a chair or a stool and ask the students to whisper read wherever they are in that particular book to me. And as I'm listening to them, I'm listening not only for their accuracy, but also when they notice that they don't understand something, are they stopping and rereading and continuing on? And then I'll ask them some open-ended questions to see what they are thinking about. I'd like you to read with me. Today we were practicing a couple of strategies, retelling in our own heads what we've read, as well as going back and checking our comprehension. As you were reading this morning, which strategy did you practice?
To go back and reread any parts that didn't make sense.
Okay, can you show me a spot in the book where you did that?
This paragraph.
Oh, would you read that to me?
Mr. Quimby was not going to be drawn into a discussion of past baked potatoes. Why not just throw the stuff into the frying pan and cook it? He asked. His idea of cooking was to toss everything into a pan and stir until done. Sometimes he invented interesting dishes with ground meat and eggs, zucchini and cheese. Other times the family tried to be good sports at dinner.
So when did you notice that you needed to go back and reread?
Right here.
Okay, and what confused you there?
That he just tossed it into the pan And like, what if things didn't go together? How would he do that?
Okay, and now do you have a good understanding of what the author was portraying? What's, in your own words, can you tell me what was happening in that scene?
So when he cooks, he just likes to throw everything that looks like that goes together. So instead of like using a recipe book or like just making his own things that he likes to do.
Nice. I always have my notebook with me. You'll see me drag it around today as I'm talking with the students, and I take notes for the kinds of questions that they're asking me, the parts of the book that they might not quite understand, something that was confusing to them, and what are they doing to help themselves figure out the comprehension. And as I'm listening to them, I'm taking notes to help me when I gather the kids in a small group. So after a couple of days of listening to the kids read in their own independent books, then I'm able to group students by certain strategies that I need to teach them. We practiced 2 strategies today to help us to better understand the author's message. I would like you to turn to your neighbor and share one strategy that you use to help you understand the text more fully, spotlighting our stopping or our turning around and checking. At the end of our reading time, we always take a moment to reflect on what we've read. And sometimes it could be done in writing, sometimes it's a whole group discussion. We might come back and gather on the rug. Today, you'll see the students turn to a partner and share what they've learned.
I stopped on page 313, and it was kind of like a new scene, so everything was new and it was kind of confusing. So going back, and kind of like going over what happened before kind of helped me. Over here, on this page, it was tricky because I didn't really understand why she was so upset that the president was cloned, because doesn't that mean it's two good readers, two good rulers? So I had to go back and reread that the president just said no to cloning and that he just broke his own rule. So that's why she was so upset that the president cloned himself.
I always try to find something that they've done well. It's so much easier to prop them up and encourage the students to try a little bit harder for you if they know that I applaud their hard work and that I'm here to help them, not to criticize them. I think one of the joys of being a teacher is seeing a student achieve something that might have been a little difficult for them, and they didn't give up. They kept trying at it.
Learn more at literacyessentials.org.